Good morning, everybody. How's it going this morning, kids? I think it's Thursday. It's September. It's kind of, I don't know. Is it gloomy outside? It's probably gloomy outside. How you guys doing today? My name is Nick with veteranscanna.com. Shameless plug out of the way early. What are we talking about today? Well, it's a little session we like to call the morning joint. And that's really what we're doing. We are going to be talking about veterans and ways to start your day and self-check-ins. And then I feel the need to just run some statistics by you. And then you can make whatever conclusion, statement, opinion that you would like. Okay? How is everyone doing today? Good? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. First and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to the love of my life. She's a little under the weather today, so we're sending hearts and thoughts your way in hopes that you just feel a little better, babe. Okay. So, in my awesome run with PTSD, my forever run, really what it is like, instead of waking up and just dreading the day, wake up and do a self-check-in. Assess yourself because you have to. Because most of us, what we're doing, like, how's that working for you? Maybe not so well. I'm not sure. Excuse me for one moment. Okay. So it's really to say, like, how am I feeling today? You know, so I'll go first and then you can do this inside your head or you can do it aloud. I guess it depends on who's in the room and how crazy you want to feel this morning. So really, like, I'm Nick, Army. How am I doing today? You know what? I feel pretty good. I woke up. There's a lot of people that love me. My kids are doing fantastic. You know what? And I'm here and we're talking. Like, that's enough for the day. You know, I'm taking my morning medicine, just kind of gearing up for the day. And really, that's all it is. That's all the self-check-in is. It helps. I learned that in therapy, obviously, but I think that it really helps. It just kind of helps you know where you're at in the day. And isn't that important to be aware instead of just being some reacting person that is out of control? Just try it. And also, 3 important questions that you need to ask yourself. Because sometimes I find that there's the disorder and then there's stuff that happens in people's life that is, it's traumatic or it weighs on them. Like, there's reasons, like, you might be super out of your mind because of your PTSD, or you might be very, very depressed on your PTSD. What are there reasons for it? You know, like, did you lose your job or lose money, or, like, you know, did you upset your kid? Did you have to go bankrupt? You know, like, did someone that you care about pass away? Did one of your friends OD? You know, if you watch the news and the depressing state, you know, like, it's pretty depressing. So, I mean, there's reasons, you know, like, maybe I'm feeling bad because I have a reason to feel bad. Don't link everything to the disorder. That's what I'm saying. So now that we got that out of the way, like, what else is important for the day? Like, you have to be somewhat productive, like, read a book, go for a walk, go volunteer your time at a VA, go volunteer your time and go sit with people in nursing homes. You know, like, if you have a conversation or you make someone smile, like, you smile, you know, like, you feel good about that. It just helps you get through the day, because let's remember, everything needs to be taken one day at a time. If you get really good, you can take it one moment at a time. But that's a whole nother story. We're not going there today. So, We had someone actually listen to me yesterday, or was it yesterday? The day before. And they posed a very interesting question. Big Daddy Squad Leader Aaron asked me a pretty important question. He said, why are you doing this? And I said, buddy, I don't know. I just have this problem that a lot of veterans have, and a lot of other people have as well, but our focus is going to be on veterans because that's what I know and that's what I am. So, and really, just to get us through another day, because according to, some statistical data, and it depends on where you look, it's like, what is it? It's roughly 20 veterans a day commit suicide. That's roughly 7,000 a year. And that is from a 2019 VA National Survey, Service Prevention. It's like an annual report. You can find it. It's online. I believe the information that I got is there's roughly 47,000 suicides, so almost a tenth of all suicides, 1/10 of all suicides are veterans. And apparently there's more statistics, like, not that we want them, but 60 to 70% of us use a bullet. The VA did a good job. It's just a sad thing to look at. When a lot of it can be avoided. Apparently, the literature, the knowledge states that all suicides can be avoided. Take that how you want it. So, just remember that every day there's people off on themselves. Every day that, there's people that are suffering. And every day that we have to try to, ease the suffering. I can't do that alone, but we can all do it together. And I think that's really important, how when you were in the military, at least when I got to brag, the most important thing in any military group is that word called cohesion, where everyone is working together, everyone is suffering together, but everyone's doing these things, for the good of the group, the good for the country, however you want to word it. If you want to expand on it, by all means, drop us a line, veteranscanada.com, ask a question, give me your feedback, let me know your opinions. So in saying all of that, let us hope that there isn't roughly 20 veterans that kill themselves today. I want to go for 0, but let's hope it's less than that. Let's hope it decreases. Let's hope we can get veterans and everyone, those 47,000 people every year that take their own lives, which is an awful statistic. It's a very awful statistic. Because there's lots of help out there. There's people to talk to. Go to a VFW. Go to a VA. Call someone, if you don't have anybody, find someone. Email us. Call an operator. Grab someone on the street. People are a lot nicer than you think. And people, I believe, deep down really want to help other people. Even though that's not what is perceived. So, in saying all of that, because I started looking at all the statistical data, I looked up more statistical data. This is where we get into news, politics, slightly. And it's not to prove any one point. I'm just going to throw some information at you, and then I want you to kind of let me know what you think about it. Okay? So we're having this huge thing right now with vaping. So let's talk some statistics on vaping. That every state wants to ban, everyone wants to. It's in the White House. President Trump said something about it. It's like, oh wow, this must be a huge deal. So let's do some statistics, shall we? So people are freaking out about vaping. I'm not saying that it's great for you, but in the end of this, we'll see what you think. So, we got roughly 7,000 veterans a year, or 20 a day, roughly. I know it's 21, it's 22, it's not, it's 6, let's just say roughly 20, which isn't all, it should be 0. Okay? But everyone's, fighting to ban this vape epidemic, this crisis that is crushing America, the world, everyone's, okay, I'm done with that. So, according to tobaccofreekids.org, cigarette smoking, 480,000 deaths a year. I think that breaks down to what, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 deaths a day, roughly. There's no bills trying to frickin' ban that. And I'm a smoker. And I will honestly say this, that if they banned cigarettes, I would be all for it. Because let's be honest, if you're smoking, and I know veterans, and I'm sure you do too, that drink lots of coffee and smoke 1 to 3 packs a day. Every day. So, there's no rush to ban that. Okay, there's no rush to ban the 500,000 deaths a year caused by smoking. There's a couple reports here on alcohol. Alcohol, according to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, alcohol is responsible for 2 million deaths a year and 88,000 alcohol-related incidences, which I guess you could say could have been avoided. But let's just, for numbers' sake, go to 2 million a year. Okay? So 2 million a year die from alcohol. And if we're really being honest, in the course of cannabis, if you go online and you look, I'll get the information if anyone wants it. It wasn't the History Channel, but it was, they wrote a report that said their best guess is roughly cannabis has been around for, 8 to 12,000 years. And really, I don't want to get into a big discussion. Oh, and that's what the research says. Is it true? No. But it's been around for thousands of years. That's a better statement. It's been around for thousands of years. And if we're really being honest, I am sure that people have gotten really high and, fell and broke their face or fell off a freaking cliff, or did something that, they normally wouldn't have done because they were high and they lost their balance or something. Is that to say the marijuana or the cannabis killed them? No. Just like we can say that the 88,000 alcohol-related deaths, the alcohol didn't kill them. It's the thing they did while they were drunk that killed them. I'm sure there's a couple deaths in there. I don't want to just, because I don't want to just plug and be like, weed, yeah, I'm for it, and I think there's a lot to it, but let's try to be logical here. Now, I'm sorry that I'm smiling because all loss of human life is. I don't want to say that sometimes it's tragic. It's part of the cycle, but I know that it's very saddening and it's very permanent. Someone older than me, who has 20 years more life experience and more experience in death than I do, that's a pretty good line. You know what I don't like about death? Is what he said. And I said, no, what don't you like about death? And he said, it's just so permanent. And then, I don't know how this works, I hope no one's going to be like, ooh, but I believe it was Keanu Reeves who was on the Colbert Show, and Colbert asked him what his thoughts on death were, and in his experience, he says, Colbert said, what are your thoughts on death? And Keanu Reeves, Mr. Reeves said, the ones that love you will miss you. And if you've experienced that, that's a very true statement. So, and in saying that, I'd like to get to the vaping statistic. I don't know how long people have been vaping for. This is really the first time it's been a big deal. I know they do studies that say that vaping causes popcorn lung, and that it's very bad for you. Now, I don't know who's doing these studies or who's paying money for these studies, but CNBC, 09/24/2019, the latest count to 9 deaths in the U.S. related to vaping, and the sickened total of people to roughly 500. The article said 530 people. Now, since everyone that runs things and businesses and corporations love to use statistical data to get us to buy stuff or to figure out how to make a better commercial that appeals to us or whatever the case may be. If you take the statistical data that is out there, we should probably all be vaping, shouldn't we? So let's say that, in the last, people have been vaping for 5 or 10 years. I don't even vape. I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying, yeah, go vape. But if you look at the statistical data, 9 people have died from vaping. Roughly 500 people are now getting sick in some kind of lung something from it. Nine. Smoking, 500,000. Alcohol, roughly 2 million. Cannabis over the course of 6,000 years, a couple. And that's the thing too with alcohol, 88,000 alcohol-related deaths. Cannabis, 6,000 years, a couple. I can't put a definite number on it. There's no really research, but if we're being honest, I'm sure it's happened. Vaping, 9. So really, that's there you go. That's the information. Tell us what you think about it. Leave us a line. Veterans Canon. Go to the bottom of the page. There's a spot for your email to subscribe. I'd love to talk more about it. So, yeah. I think the goal here, now that we're done, I don't want to talk about statistics anymore. You got the statistics. Hopefully you're thinking about it and saying, shouldn't we all be vaping? According to the numbers that you guys spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to do the research on, when you could be hiring more teachers and cops and firemen and infrastructure and, giving money to communities, to making them better, right? We all want everyone to live their best them, right? And we all have to do it together. You can never do it separately. And that's the thing, you think that you can, and you can't. Okay, moving on from statistical data. So, I really think that that's all we got for the day, Oh, yeah, no, I know what we were going back to. After we went off, I got a little lost on the tangent because it's hard to swallow that they're spending all this money on it when, I didn't even look up the statistic for people that die of opioids/heroin, fentanyl ODs every day. What's that number? Vaping is 9 in its existence. So, I'm going to leave on this because I'm pretty sidetracked, and my medicine is working very well this morning. And I actually have some errands to go run. So, in saying that, ask yourself these questions randomly every day. If you're in a spot because you have, military PTSD, you know what that is, okay? We don't need to go into an explanation. Even the veterans that don't have it know what it is. Because most of them have that, even if it's not a blown out, they have it on some low level, all right? Ask yourself these questions. How have I been sleeping? How have I been eating? And how are my social / exercise, how am I getting some sort of exercise? And if you answered all those questions, if you say, man, I'm on this rigorous sleep schedule and I get 7 hours a night and, or I get 10 hours a night, whatever your number is, but as long as you're sleeping and you're sleeping sound and, you're not waking up like, having night terrors, you're not having flashbacks, you're not, have whatever, how have I been eating? Like if you just ingest nicotine and caffeine and sugar, and you do that for long periods of time, it's not really conducive to do anything good for yourself, okay? I know this from personal experience. I'm getting better. And then what am I doing to be social or to be active? Well, let's not even call exercise active. Like exercise is just a walk. Like, hey, I've sat in my room alone and haven't talked to anyone in weeks or days or months or whatever. Okay, so like if that's happening, then you kind of have to be aware and say to yourself, okay, like I need to do something about this. If we were all happy sitting in our rooms and swinging our feet and dancing and now everything's great. Now I'm great. I'm just sitting, like it'd be a different story. It wouldn't be, it would be okay. But ask yourself those 3 questions. Okay. Everybody, every veteran, every human, don't assume like everyone is fighting a battle inside their mind, inside their soul, inside their being that you and I and everyone else has no idea. Even if we have an idea, we still have no idea because we haven't walked in that person's shoes. We haven't, So, once again, I'm Nick. The website, veteranscanada.com. Leave us a message. Hugs, kisses, and prayers that my love gets better. And really just thanks for listening. Please get back. Please do not suffer. Please talk to somebody. Email us. Call somebody. We have spots to go, guys and gals. Like, there's centers, there's VFWs, there's VAs, there's numbers, every community has its own, like building for a psychological, thing. If you can't get to a VA, if you can't get to that, call someone, email someone, everyone has someone to talk to. I think that might not be a true statement, but I think, and yeah, like seriously, God bless, and really, 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 thanks for listening. Let's make this a reality. Like there's no, the reward is just helping people have better days. That's it, and in return, we have better days. So from all of me to all of you, have a wonderful day. And instead of going around worrying about whatever it is that people worry about, smile. Just smile, see what happens. Smile at people, smile at things. When someone rips past you on the highway and cuts you off, or smile. When that person almost bumps into you because they're on their cell phone and they won't look up, just smile. It's like 2 seconds. Don't engage. Don't lose your shit. Don't react in anger. All right. God bless. Thanks for listening. We will talk again soon. Bye for now.